All right, friends, Stephen Ben-Nun here with Israeli News Live here on Patreon. And I have decided for you guys here on Patreon that we're going to begin to share more and more the controversial type of information here. Not controversial in so much that I could not possibly share it on YouTube, but things that, some people just really kind of got upset because things, as I've said before, did not happen the way they thought it was going to happen, or even in the ways that some of the intel I get express things that are going to happen. I know the election was a big issue for a lot of people, as well as asteroids, because one of our sources, and that's out of multiple sources, okay, but one of our sources was getting information that we would see asteroids raining down by December of last year. It did not happen that way. And we were also told that, things would be to a point to where we would know we are in trouble. Um, that was a different source as well. But the thing is that things don't always happen the way that we're told. And although we try to very honestly give you information as it's shared with us, it does cause confusion for some people, and some people hang to every word you say. Always remember, though, these are not prophecies. This is intelligence that's being shared with us. But there are a number of people that have written me, a large number of people that have written me and said, Steve, we still want to know the information. We understand that not everything is going to be that way. We understand when you're dealing with wars and things like that, it's a very fluid situation. And, so we realize that, but we still would like to know the information. So I decided, rather than it creating so much confusion, that if we share it here only on Patreon, then the people that support the work we do here would understand we're doing these things to the best of our ability. And so, because I really feel in my heart that some of these things need to be made known, mainly just for preparation, protecting of your family. It's kind of like this here. We could live on the Gulf Coast somewhere and we could hear that the meteorologists are telling us a major hurricane's coming. Earthquake could happen. You got a tsunami warning and stuff. And everybody makes the preparation for this massive hurricane that's going to blow everybody away. And it goes somewhere else, or it peters out, or you prepare for the tsunami and the tsunami never comes. But yet we had a 9.0 earthquake, or whatever the case might be. We want to be able to at least get information to you to where you can prayerfully and objectively do what you feel is best for your family. And one of the things that I shared earlier today on Israeli News Live was from a good friend of mine, a FEMA engineer, that had just shared with me that there was, give me a heads up, just got an alert that they're finding a lot of parasites in the water in Texas, extremely contaminated. Also, other power plants on the West Coast have been told to cut back production and go to rolling blackouts and expect severe flooding in the next couple of weeks in the South. Well, not only am I getting that information there from my FEMA engineer, but I was also being told today in a Pentagon briefing there that yes, that we're going to see more of what happened in Texas happening to other southern states. Freezes unheard of, causing more chaos, causing power outages, things like that. In fact, I actually asked about EMP strikes, the grid going down, things like that. Are we expecting something like that in the not so distant future? And I was told that things are going to happen simultaneously. Because I also want to know, are these things going to be natural? Are they going to be man-made? Is it a combination of both? I know that my good friend, the FEMA engineer, has said to me before that what he's heard is that it's all going to happen at one time. They're going to have natural disasters and they're going to have artificial disasters that are going to take place simultaneously. And so, ironically today, without actually saying that, when I was in this briefing today, I was told a very similar situation because I was asking specifically about an EMP strike are we expecting an EMP strike? Is there something that you guys know, whether it be Iran, knowing that Iran has nuclear weapons, things like that? Are you guys expecting some type of an EMP strike? He said, not quite yet. We are expecting something of that magnitude, but not quite yet. And then he went on to say to me that it'll actually be, Steve, a combination of both natural and man-made disasters at the same time. He said, we're getting ready to go through another debris field. He said, you have to remember there are bands that are following this binary system that is headed our way. And in those bands, he said, they actually began last year. He said, it's going back into around February, March last year, they began to see the bands coming in towards the Earth. This is why, and he said, by September, we had doubled in the number of near-Earth objects because we were in the debris field already. He said, but everything was very small. And he said, we are now approaching yet another band of that debris field. And kind of like what you see on your screen there, I guess, is a good illustration of that. And he said, in around May, he said, we'll really start seeing this next debris field, and you'll see, again, another large number of near-Earth objects. But he said, it shouldn't be that bad. You'll see some, coming in, like we're seeing a lot of videos captured of meteorites and stuff like that. And we've shared those with you because, especially back in September, there was so much talk of, oh, it didn't happen the way you said it was going to happen. And it's true, but it wasn't what I say. I'm only repeating intel that I get on those things. And but not all my intel sources say that. Not all the intel sources believe that it was going to be a total disaster. Okay, but I was told, though, that we could expect, sorry, I got a Charlie horse in my leg kicking in there. So I get spontaneous muscle contractions in my legs from spinal damage. So keep me in prayer if you would. But anyway, he said to me that May, you'll definitely see another increase. He said it'll be more than what we saw back in September of last year. Which we saw a lot of video footage of that. And he said a lot of that, though, hits the oceans and you never see it. They're not going to report it. But come September, later in the year, he said we will see yet another debris field band coming in. And he said it should double the number of incoming asteroids and stuff as what we will see in May. He said, so whatever you end up seeing in May, we can expect double that by around September of this year. The only difference is he did say that they do expect more significant impacts that may end up hitting the Earth in September. Nothing, though, that's going to take and annihilate the dinosaurs. Okay, we're not talking about stuff like that. But he said the closer the binary system gets here, the more of these debris fields we will see, and it will continue to increase as the next couple of years go by. Because from what I understand, I think it's late 2024, something like that, 2023, I forget which year it is. This is when the binary system will be on top of us. So we still got a couple of years out, about 3 years from what I understand, before we really deal with the serious issues of this binary system that's coming through. But at the same time, I was told that when we begin to really see the natural phenomena that are taking place on the Earth, this is when they're going to seize the opportunity to also use the man-made weather weapons, the man-made abilities that we have in order to bring about more chaos on the Earth. Now, this is, Brother Steve, I believe is part of the globalist one world order, or the new world order, or the, you might say, the beast kingdom coming into play. And oddly enough, a lot of that information too, when we talk about the beast kingdom, is very demonic. Israel is definitely going to introduce their Messiah, which will be an alien Antichrist. There is no question whatsoever he will be extraterrestrial, in my opinion. Uh, the one key factor with this, and I can't even tell you how I know this, but they are going to take and they're going to reconstitute or re-push the law itself. This will be a part of the Antichrist system, is putting the people back under the law. I know the Zohar also mentions this as well, and their prophetic side of their Zohar is that it basically, you could say, it is the mark of the beast, putting people back under the law. This is why you're going to have Noahide laws for Gentiles, and the Jewish people will be forced back underneath the laws that they had back in biblical times. Some people would embrace that and think it's a great thing. But this is why they've been preparing the world with all these false ministers in Christianity, trying to put them underneath these Talmudic rabbis. This is exactly what the Antichrist is going to do, is put the people under the law. Another thing that was shared with me is that CERN was actually being used to open a portal. I know there's been a lot of people speculate this already, but to hear this officially, that CERN was used to open a portal, and they were successful in doing so, and that it is believed because of what they did with CERN that now they're seeing what they call an uptick in terrestrial appearances of different types of beings and creatures. It has been believed for the longest time, identified by government sources there, of about 140 species of, I call them fallen angels, devils, demons, archons. They call them aliens. But they said now they can identify more than 300 species since CERN has been opening up this portal. And one of the things that that was shared with me today was that skinwalkers are one of the things that they have seen an increased sightings of. And when I say sightings, they're talking about government officials reporting the sightings of these strange anomalies that are happening on the earth. You know, I think about how the scripture speaks about, man's hearts will fail them for fear, strange sights and things appearing on the earth in the last days. We're going through some crazy times, friends. Very, very, very bizarre things that are going to be happening on this earth. But what I was going to share with you as well. I kind of briefly mentioned this. The Tungska in the Israeli News Live report there was a massive explosion that occurred near Podkamenya Tunguska River in Yeneksek, I can't say it, Governorate. That's in Russia, in other words. On the morning of June 30th, 1908, the explosion over the sparsely populated eastern Siberian taiga flattened an estimated 80 million trees over an area of 2,150 kilometers of forest. An eyewitnesses report suggests that at least 3 people may have died in the event. The explosion is generally attributed to the airburst of a stony meteoroid about 100 meters or 330 feet in size. It is classified as an impact event, even though no impact crater has been found. The object is thought to have disintegrated at an altitude of 5 to 10 kilometers, 3 to 6 miles rather, to have hit the surface of the earth. All that is totally bogus. This was caused by a weapon that was built by Nikola Tesla, and he actually tried it up there to see if he could make it work, and it did. The United States has that weapon. There are so many evils that can be done with this type of weapon. anything from, well, as you see what it did in Russia. But this is what I was told that they could use to obliterate Iran with. But the problem is they don't know what the effects will be on the rest of the earth. They have perfected it even greater. The United States, as I've been told, has weapons like you've never could ever possibly even imagine. But they've also discovered, too, that other countries like China and Russia, too, have similar types of weapons now. So the whole idea that Iran being a nuclear superpower, and which they are, and having all the nuclear weapons that they have, is nothing compared to what we have. But we're dealing with weapons that, one particular weapon I was told about today that we have in the U.S. stockpile of inventory of weapons literally could split the earth completely in half. So it makes you wonder how much longer before man destroys himself. That's what it's coming down to, friends. Man is going to destroy himself. I just want to share some of these thoughts with you, some of these insights here. And like I said, pray about it. But man-made and natural disasters are definitely going to be heading our way very soon. Also, as I mentioned again, don't forget, weather is going to change drastically. Some of that will be man-made. Some of it is actually caused from the binary system. I know that I've been told that some of the creatures that we have in captivity have been acting very strange, and they believe it could be because of the binary system that's headed in. Don't really know for sure. And again, CERN has opened a portal. I think it opened a portal to the abyss. And I think we're about to see some very serious things biblically on the horizon. I'm Steve Ben-Nun. You're listening to Israeli News Live. Thank you for watching here on Patreon. Thank you for your support. We don't tell you enough thank you, but we want you to know we love you and we thank you and appreciate what you do.